video is called Red-Pilled Men Actually Want Better for Women Than Women Do. By The Better Bachelor. I am very interested. So this comes from like the same sect of men who don't listen to women about, anything, obviously, but like, the bear question, for instance. Like, hey, why do you choose the bear? They don't even think to ask. They just go, no.
Guys, welcome to Better Bachelor. My name is...
So, we've watched this guy like one other time, and I know why he's called a Better Bachelor. Yeah, he's a bachelor. We were talking about this before this video started. Is there a word for a corn dog that uses sausage and not gross-ass corn-based batter? I believe those are called sausage rolls in the UK. Also, gross-ass corn batter. I mean, what would be like a flour-based batter? Yeah, you could do that. They also have pancake batter boys that are like that, breakfast sausage dipped in pancake batter.
This Joker with a face for radio and a voice for print.
Dude, I think I probably even said this last time. Am I a broken record on that? He just evokes this every time. Like, to introduce yourself with a face for radio, and it reeks of low self-esteem and lashing out at women, right? Like, it's just like, oh, I think I'm an ugly guy, and I hate women because they think I'm ugly back. And actually what he wants is to be loved and accepted like the little boy he is, but he's unwilling and unable to become the kind of man that could accept such a thing. We're getting really deep right away. We're just gonna jump right in to psychoanalyzing these guys. But I mean, like, that's straight up it.
Been kind of a slow news week or weekend over the last couple of days. Didn't really know what stories I wanted to talk about. And then, lo and behold, the internet gods dropped something right down in my lap.
Oh.
This is a crazy story.
What a cynical way to live your life. What a cynical... I would be delighted. Dude, we would just stream good stuff all the time. Think of it. If everything was great, yeah. We would never even talk about chuds. We'd just be like, hell yeah, dude. We're all out here. Who grilled this week? We just talk about grilling, man. I do have a Discord.
Coming out of Belgium. And I know many of you are like, Belgium? Who cares what's going on in Belgium? But it's the point that feminists are ruining women when it's...
Feminists are ruining women. Who are the feminists? Well, the women are. Oh.
Really religious women that are trying to save women, ironically. And so you've got feminists that are now forcing other women to sleep with men for money, and there's a law that now does it.
Feminists are forcing women to sleep with men by law? You think this... What? Sex workers' rights are feminist issue? How would this force anyone that has sex? We must dig deeper.
If you told me this is where society and the
Certainly
world is going...
we must.
I would have called you crazy even 10 years ago.
I think you're probably crazy.
I remember when I was young, they would set up stings where guys that happened to all be named John, and these Johns would go out and they would drive along and...
Not him. Not him. Okay?
Patrol the streets for women of the night, and they would find a worker, and she would do illicit things to him in the car, and then he would give her money, and he would drive home. And they used to put stings out and arrest the guys. They'd arrest the women. Of course, they'd let them right back out on the street because they're women. And it would ruin men's lives if they were caught doing this. And it was...
The men are the victims here? The men are the victims? Okay, is this what happened to him? Is this what he's talking about? He got rung up for solicitation, and he's like, it ruins their lives. My wife left me, and now I'm just a bachelor who hates women.
It's always a big to-do. And the advocates that were trying to stop this said women were being taken advantage of by their quote-unquote managers, the guy that happens to rhyme with simp.
That happens to rhyme with simp? Is he saying that simps or pimps?
Why
can't he say pimp? Why can't he say it?
They were getting taken advantage of by their managers. They're getting beaten up. They don't have the opportunity to refuse to work It's trafficked. It's all a bunch of bad times. And so the religious right came out and they said, well, we need to stop this. We need to protect these women. And
the religious right can't. So the religious right are definitely like they got to be the highest user base for sex work, right? Because it's all clandestine, and that's like why they seek it out, is because they can't like get it in just like normal circumstances most of the time. I mean, obviously there's some sex work that's, it's whatever. It's honestly, it's getting more nuanced, but like what he's talking about, like we're trolling for ladies of the night. Like there's a reason you're trolling in the evenings in darkly lit alleys. It's because you're not socializing in ways that would get you fucked other ways. I'm fine with sex work being legal and regulated as long as the sex workers have the rights to the means of their own production. But of course, it would be corporatized or whatever if that was the case. So at least decriminalized.
And everybody was kind of on board. And then the bedroom work became real work because the leftists always have to oppose anything that anybody ever tells them.
Sex work is real work. Sex work is work, though. Bedroom work? So when I have sex, I'm not doing sex work. If I was to sell sex, that would be sex work. That's different, right? It'd be a different thing. Just having sex is not work. You never work a day in your life if you love your job.
You just have to take the contrarian stance. And now, lo and behold,
Why do they just take contrarian stances? It's not a contrarian stance to just disagree with you genuinely. It's crazy that they never listen. Why can't they ever just listen? This would be the end of the right wing. Like any person that believes in something that is ostensibly right wing or religious or whatever, all it literally takes for them, and I'm not joking, is for them to try to listen. If you just try to listen, you're not going to be right wing or religious anymore. All you have to be is willing. It's so easy. You just got to be a curious guy. I don't know a single person who's curious that exists on the right. Try sucking several unwashed dicks and see if your opinion changes. Wowzers.
The bedroom workers, they're going to be forced to sleep with men. I'm not even kidding.
Belgian sex workers to get health insurance, pensions, and maternity leave in world first. Yeah, that's dope. I don't think new law grants registered pimps power to offer employment contracts to what is this? Prostitution, maybe? Prostitution? What is happening? Is he doing some kind of... He must have it on a thing that makes it so that whatever words pop up, he won't get demonetized, maybe?
So from Belgium, this is from, let's see, who wrote the Telegraph? From the Telegraph, just a couple days ago. Belgian bedroom work.
Dude, why do all these guys have the same, like literally the same overlay?
Workers to get health insurance, pensions, and maternity leave in a world first. I don't know too many of them that are having kids. That's kind of detrimental to the... But anyway, they say the new law grants registered managers power to offer...
They are obsessed with procreation. I know it's like a Christian thing, like a conservative mainstay of like, this semi-quiverful where it's like, we just gotta have kids and we'll outbreed the next generation. Here's what happens though. Your far-right religious upbringing is not a comfortable place to be. And then as you can see, you lose your wife, likely are estranged from your kids, buddy. And then they become like queer activists. Non-binary furries, like because they don't want to live that life. You force shit on people, and very few people are happy that way, right? Which is why there's so many fucking mental breakdowns and like dude, the amount of people in upper middle class or middle class white suburban like conservative areas, the amount of pill abuse because they get prescribed these things, right? And they just fucking like lean on it and they don't talk about any of their fucking problems at all. Like, I don't know. I'm a white guy. I got white family. This is the whole fucking thing. They just sit there and they don't ever talk about anything that bothers them. And anytime they do start to scratch the surface, they get like a little anxiety and they're like, nope, we can't talk about that. That's a bad thing. It's crazy. It's not healthy, man. You got to talk about stuff. I don't know how people, like, it's fine if you don't want to talk about every fucking little aspect of your life. And then there's, of course, the opposite, where they don't really talk about anything, but they overshare anyway. They never really introspect. Just weirdos. People are very strange. They come in all shapes and sizes, man.
Employment contracts to the professionals. So their managers will have contracts that are law-abiding. He said Belgium has become the first country in the world to approve a labor law on employment contracts for bedroom workers. Under the law, if a professional refuses a client more than 10 times over 6 months, the, quote, manager can trigger an intervention by a government mediator but cannot sack the employee.
So I don't like the sex worker not having a means to their own production here, like pimp stuff. I mean, like I simply wouldn't. I don't think we're talking about pimps necessarily, because I don't think you really need them in this situation. But whatever. That said, capitalism is bad, but like a government mediator, who's gonna mediate with their worker over refusing a client? Who's gonna do that anyway?
So let's go back. It's the year's 1980, and we have Johnny Pimp.
What this sounds like is they are finding something that they likely misunderstood in the contract, like in the idea of it or the law, or they took one part out of it that is like questionable, and they're like, oh, but what? Think of the way that you could, fuck this up. And it's like, just giving some bargaining power to the management or something. I don't know. To call them a pimp is interesting. I don't think that that's what they would call them in this situation, but I could be wrong.
Band and his 5 women of the night working on a street, and one of them's not making enough money, and she doesn't feel like doing it anymore.
Yeah, it's the Telegraph, though. They're using the word prostitute.
So he takes the pimp hand, whack. He smacks her, and he says, get back to work, or I'll beat you up. But I'm not going to fire you. I'm not going to fire you because I need you. You need to keep making me money. Fast forward to 2024. Now the government says, hey.
Is he faking the background here? Is this a fake background? It is, isn't it? It totally is. Fuck. Why is he doing that? The lighting suggests it is. It really does. Well, that's what fucked me up. I was like, damn, it looks funny. And it's because the light is coming from behind him would be way brighter.
A manager.
Yeah, it's
definitely if she does not.
Now I'm looking at it as like, I'm just looking at it, all the like margins and stuff.
Want to sleep with a guy more than 10 times in 6 months. You can't give.
That's why I'm hearing that hiss. He's got like he's got some kind of air movement thing, I think. Or maybe it's his computer fans or something. And it's picking up because he didn't kill his white noise. It's driving me nuts.
Give her the hand anymore. And you can't fire her, but the government's going to intervene and will mediate for you. We live in a clown world. I genuinely feel we live in a clown world, and people need to find Jesus.
We live in a clown world, and people need to find Jesus. I need to talk to more Christians. I absolutely need to talk to more Christians. They're just such little fucking crazy people.
It also entitles the...
We need cringo? Like cringe? Christian bingo? Oh, I see. Well, we get no bingo today.
Bedroom worker to health insurance, pensions, everybody.
None.
Unemployment, and family... Wait, how do you get unemployment? All you have to do is lay there.
Is that your experience with sex? That's interesting. What a fucking cell phone.
So what if you twist an ankle or sprain your wrist? I'm pretty sure you can. Oh, you know what? Maybe if you have some issues. And family benefits.
What's he giggling about? Issues? I don't even understand what he's saying.
Because yes, we all know how the ladies of the night have a big families.
Sex workers have families, yeah, all the time. Super normal. Who does he think does stuff? Like, Quebec, thanks so much for the 202 biddies. Is this dumbass real? He's real, all right. He's real.
Holidays and maternity leave. Holidays, really? What about the gentlemen at Christmas time that want to relieve themselves and give her a package?
Give her a package? Barack Obama, official. So, this is so, I'm honored. He is so deeply concerned with how the sex work goes down.
If I was gay or something.
I'm gonna pee. You know how women are just dry and just lay there? Absolutely. That's right. That's how they all are.
The law is a world first.
He tried.
I cannot stress enough how important this is.
He's trying.
Dan Bowens, a spokesman for the UTSOPI, the unions for bedroom workers in Belgium, said, with this model, Belgium is really demonstrating that it aims to protect bedroom workers. We protect them more than anybody else. Regardless of any moral judgments about the professions people may have. He added,
we protect them more than anyone else. He's giggling. I don't even know. I don't understand. He wants to say bedroom workers. It happens in the bedroom. The self-censoring is so irritating. The right wing does this all the time. Because, part of it is, of course, the grift.
We hope that this can lead...
He's like, I have to be 100% monetizable. And I get, wanting to make a buck to live your life. But man, moral judgments? Well, he's a Christian, right? He's a Christian that deeply craves the ability to be able to sexually express himself, but cannot do so. And so he has to denigrate other people that are doing so and that do so freely. And that some of whom sell their sex or their bodies in certain ways or images of it or whatever for money because men, and usually it's men, but not only men, but usually it's cishet men willing to pay for it because they don't get to sexually express themselves with other people or it just gets them off or whatever. There's lots of really valid reasons to seek out sex work. But these guys right here, it's just because they don't get to express themselves. They don't get to have sex with people. They certainly don't get to have good sex with anybody because they haven't earned the emotional and personal rapport it takes to have that with somebody. Are you a bedroom worker if you work from home in your studio apartment? Yes. A studio worker.
To a reversal of the recent trend of criminalizing clients in Europe. We hope that other countries will copy this text as they did on such topics as same-sex marriage, baby deletion, gassing old people, and the LGHD-TV rights.
HDTV. Wow. He doesn't really have a lot of brain cells. Do you so when you're like a little Nazi and you sit here and you look at this guy and you're like, yeah, I really agree with Uncle Ted. You know what I mean? Do you feel cool? This is a standard groiper. He doesn't have different opinions than a normal groiper, right? He's just older, so he doesn't have the lingo. TV, dude. There's the joke. Amazing. Anna Earhart, 44 months. You feel cool. You are cool. You are very cool. Belgium leading the way. Same-sex marriage is good. Abortion is good. Euthanasia is good. And transgender rights are good. You should be able to... Look, so I think it's pretty easy, right? You should be able to fucking off yourself. Rublum, give away to Valentine Gay. Valentine Gay. How romantic. You should be able to kill yourself. I don't think we should... start with that option, but I think it's your life. You know what I mean? I think we should offer it as an option for people, especially terminal shit and they just have pain and they don't want it. Why they don't have to suffer for any reason? Fuck it. Who cares? It's your life.
I hope you have a fantastic day.
I think we should do our best to, as a community, try to make a life worth living for people, together. And obviously, trans rights it's self-expression. It's a First Amendment issue.
I hope you have a fantastic day.
Okay, so they didn't start all that stuff. I don't think. Maybe they did, but they're saying they hope everybody copies this.
Yeah.
Oh, that's gonna turn out well.
It would absolutely, it would turn out great if everyone had same-sex marriage, access to abortion, access to euthanasia, and the trans people had rights. Yes, that's good. All of those, I agree. All of those things sound absolutely fine to me.
The law makes it legal to give a professional employment contracts after Belgium became the first country in Europe to decriminalize self-employment bedroom workers in 2022.
Yeah, amazing.
It bestows certain rights on the worker and conditions on the employer.
Yeah.
That's what they call a PIMP now as an employer. These include the right to refuse a client or a specific bedroom act, as well as the right to interrupt the transaction at any time without fear or dismissal of punishment.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, incredible. That I don't understand why you would be opposed to that. So this is like a little bit of a, like, it's progressive, but it's also like, I mean, why don't we just cut out the whole pimp situation? You know what I mean? Obviously, I think it's more like nowadays like a management company or something like that. But still, I like the decentralization of this because you can still be self-employed and do all this stuff and not have to have a middleman. But yeah, to have employment rights and stuff, incredible. Yeah.
However,
especially since like I feel like, you know, in Belgium, you probably have a situation where you have like brothels and stuff, right? So like this is probably, I mean, you're a pimp. It's probably more like a madam, really, or something like that.
Only 10 times in 6 months.
Not only 10 times in 6 months. After 10 times in 6 months, if the employer thinks, hey, you're doing a thing that I don't like, then they can have a mediator see. But like, I would be shocked to find, like, I don't want to suck this guy's dick because he is bad. He's a bad guy, and I just do not agree that I want to have sex with, I don't want to suck this guy's dick. That's just any reason at all. I just don't want to, right? You're going to have an employer in this case go to a mediator and go, I really want this person to have sex with this other person, but she doesn't want to. Is this mediator going to go, yeah, you have to? Who's saying that? Only Christian right-wing men would say that.
They say the workers are also entitled to carry out an act however they wish and to refuse to sit behind Amsterdam-style windows, which are also used in Belgium, or to advertise their wares in a window.
What's an Amsterdam-style window? Is it just like a window where on the other side someone is nude? Is that what it is? It's like a peep window or whatever? Is that what it's called? Is that it? Yeah, you can... yeah, of course you would be able to refuse to do that. Yep.
Here's the part that just blows me away.
All right.
Invoking any of these rights more than 10 times in half a year can lead to the government mediation services being called by the worker or employer.
Right. So okay, I guess this makes sense. If a worker is like, in 6 months, I've had to refuse this client 10 times. I wish to call for mediation so that I can get this stopped. I don't want to have to deny him an 11th time, right? And then, I think like less often you'd have an employer be like, you just won't suck any dicks. This is a dick-sucking factory and you won't suck any dicks. Why aren't you sucking more dicks? We need a mediator to solve this. I really don't think I see that happening. So this is just labor. This is just the ability to argue and like defend yourself in regards to your labor when it's sex work. Belgium is based as fuck. It sounds like a great place.
Well, the employer is the PIMP, the manager, as it were. The workers can also end their contract at any time with no notice period and do not lose their right to unemployment benefits when terminating their employment.
Amazing. That's so great. Yes. So progressive. We're headed that way. So this kind of stuff is going to be the model, and I know that Belgium said it will be the model for moving forward in this area. This is so great. Thank you for sharing this good news.
Anonymity will be protected because the contracts will be provided under the same heading as those given to hospitality workers in the restaurant and hotel sector.
Perfect.
This is intended to ensure they can apply for other jobs without fear of discrimination.
That's fucking based. They're even preempting like the social stigma that can lead. Yes. Amazing. Wow. I wouldn't even have thought to add that. That's fantastic. How can you possibly think this is a bad idea? I don't know. Let's see.
Now, how do you register to become a PIMP manager? The law does not cover, now this is interesting. The law does not cover women that are in the movies. So if you're doing this on film.
Just women, no. There aren't just women in the movies. That's fine, though.
For the websites, it doesn't count. If you're dancing, like a strip, or webcam performers. So it doesn't cover it, so you don't need a manager for that.
I think they have porn laws that are different. I think that's it.
The PIMP, the manager, must have registered offices in Belgium and apply for approval before they can offer their contracts. Approval.
I feel like the Telegraph is calling these people pimps in a pejorative way, and I don't know what the actual word for them would be. Just management?
Will be withheld if they have convictions for crime, including assault, extortion, other things, or even voyeurism. They must provide the worker with an alarm button so they can obviously keep them safe.
Yep, this is all good. What do you he even says, obviously, so they can be kept safe. Yeah, what are you opposed to? This is all great.
Employer must also ensure the worker have access to someone in charge of ensuring their safety, and that unions and support organizations have access to the brothels at all times.
Amazing. Look, they have access to personal security. They have access to alarm buttons. They have access to, there's vetting processes for clients. They get to deny services. They get to bargain, they get to collectively bargain because they allow unions and support organizations.
Other countries such as New Zealand, Germany, and Netherlands recognize the bedroom work before Belgium, but have never set up a comparably legal framework. The Belgian now here's the best part, right? I mean, all of this is a hot mess. The Belgian parliament approved the law following years of lobbying from the bedroom workers on Friday with a 93 votes in favor and no votes against it.
God damn, that's amazing. Hey, anyone from Belgium want to marry me? I feel like Belgians are cool. I would love to be just an honorary member of this based-ass country. What a beautiful, wonderful place. Belgium. Look at that vote. It's just common sense. 93 votes in favor. What are they doing? We need to study Belgium and how the politics are so good there. What's going on?
You guys, women will vote in their own destruction.
Their destruction? Every woman who is a part of this, every sex worker, and not even just women, because this obviously applies for more than just women. Every sex worker in Belgium got materially better off after these laws got passed overnight. And frankly, even if it is a pejorative in this sense, pimp, they got better off. I think, pimps are like landlords in my opinion, but how many pimps are necessary in the world? Are there any that are like, oh yeah, this guy is actually that's the point. I could see a brothel management system, because that's literally just a hotel that you have to manage with I guess sex work, but fucking what is so a pimp's job in the past was we're on the streets and I'm essentially a guy who can exert violence on people to a degree to ensure a certain level of commerce. And that's pretty much
if I was
it.
gay or something.
Hank Hill was a good pimp. I feel like I would be a good brothel manager. It's the sex work. Of course, the people of Belgium are chill, and they used to be some of the most vile of colonialists. Yeah, so why is it so chill? That's what I mean. Belgium is not necessarily a based country forever,
And cheer for it when it happens. I wonder if they have any comments. Let's see. This is. Let me see. It's slowly loading. This is from Web Archive. So when they took the snapshot of the page, it probably didn't have any comments. We'll see if any actually show up here. Guys, I never thought there'd be a day where it's the men that care about the women's health and safety the most.
That's such a weird thing to say for a Christian conservative. Aren't they always oh, we're the protectors? Aren't they oh, women hide behind us and are protected by us? It's pretty weird to be like, I never thought I'd see a day where men were supposed to care about the safety of women. By the way, that's what's happening. There are men, Belgian ones, that care about the safety of women due to the successful lobbying by sex workers of their government to have this based-ass law put in the books. That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, he's actually full-blown delusional. I mean, he's a Christian, so what can you do?
Not the government.
Christians gonna Christianity.
Government, not other women. You know, we quote-unquote manosphere red pill guys. We're always told we're misogynist and we're hateful and we're awful men.
Yeah. We're alone and unfucked and divorced, estranged from our kids, misogynist. Yeah, I wonder why. Welcome to Vessi. I wonder why, dude.
If we were really awful and mean and hateful and everything, wouldn't we be the ones pushing this legislation through?
Okay, wait, hold on. I'm seeing an opportunity here, chat. Yes, it would be hateful to support the decriminalization of sex work. That's, yeah, well, yeah, tell them, dude. You tell those sex workers how you really feel and support decriminalization of sex work immediately. Really show them whores. Those bitches. The guy, those, I hate them. I just hate women and sex workers so much. Me too, man. They make me mad. I actually don't know. Wait, hold on. Okay, why do they want to control women's bodies so bad? And why does it make them mad when they don't have control of them? What is it? I know that they do want it. Why do they want it? I don't get it. I would love, you know what? I want to ask, I would love to talk to a Christian. I don't think there are any in the audience, but that'd be nice. I'd love to talk to a Christian, particularly one that is a self-described misogynist and red pill manosphere guy. I'd love to have a cordial discussion about why you are upset that you cannot control women's sexuality. Because they lose more control? Yeah, but I mean, like, so they want control so they have control? You know what I mean? Like, is that really what it is? They want control so they have some? Is that it? Have they ever thought about why? Are they just dogs chasing cars? Is that what's going on?
Saying, you know what?
They probably pretend to be a Christian really well. I don't want you guys to... No, I don't want you to pretend. I want you to pretend. I want a real one. A real live one.
Women, all right, we're gonna let them work. I'm gonna take a cut of their pay because I'm their quote-unquote manager.
Christians thinking you're funny, Jay. So Christians do think sometimes. There are some Christians who are just waiting for the right conversation to start deconversion. Because they're actually, like, they would otherwise be naturally curious, but they don't, like, look into it from a faith perspective. They don't look into it from a materially real perspective. Like, I look at that Wendigoon guy, and he's a Christian, and I look at him, and it's like, what if you did, like, the evolution and Big Bang iceberg? What if you did the fucking, what if you did the iceberg on, like... like progressive stuff? Who knows what would happen? Wendy being Christian is so confusing to me. I mean, he was born, I mean, you can hear it. He was born Southern, man. It's hard to break out of that shit when you're just a little guy. He wants to go shoot guns and be one of the boys. The Bible tells them that women are meant to be subservient to them, so they label themselves as Christians, so they get mad when all these women don't fall in their laps. So it's like, okay, if you want women to be subservient to you, or I guess submissive, all you have to have is consent for that. There are people that want to do that with you. All you need is consent. And they just won't seek it. That's all they need. I don't know why they won't just, hey, if you were just a safe, likable, fuckable guy, and I don't mean physically fuckable, I mean like quite literally, okay, dude, I think incels have this, and he's definitely an incel. They have such strange ideas of what men have to look like to have sex, and it's just not true. It isn't true. It helps if you are clean and some form of attractive to that person, but not everyone is attractive to everybody, and not everybody like vibes with everybody. Like, just be likable. Just be, but you can't because you. Okay, and when we say be yourself, and then he's like, "Oh, I'm being myself." You're not. It's such a veneer. This is a veneer because you can tell when he hedged at the beginning, like, "Oh, I got a face for radio." He doesn't have any self-respect. He doesn't have any like, particularly in the physical space. Like he doesn't have any like dignity. He needs validation from a woman to tell him he could be attractive in order to have any sort of self-worth. It's crazy. Improbable. Thanks for following. Fuckable, you mean a decent human being qualities could help towards that? Absolutely. Oh, never mind. Eat dicks. Never mind, eat dicks, bro. No one wants your dumb shit.
And if they don't want to put out more than X amount of times, I have the right to give them the old heavy-handed slap. But now instead...
What?
And if they don't want to put out more than X amount of times, I have the right to give them the old heavy-handed slap.
He's talking about a pimp.
But now instead of that, the government will do it.
What does he think a mediation is? A mediation is the same thing as getting physically abused? What?
And the workers' rights and the unemployment.
No, Friendly Fire Day, you made it out this time.
And all that stuff. They're going to have to pay. It's being taxed, right? It's being taxed. Because if you think about it.
Of course it's being taxed.
Getting unemployment, so you have to state that you're doing this work.
Yes.
They're going to collect taxes from these women.
Yep.
And I don't know what Belgium's tax rate is.
Okay.
But it's probably 50% at least.
25% in the lowest bracket. But they also have lots of human rights and stuff. Anyway.
So a girl goes out and does the deed for $200. $100 goes to the government. And then her manager gets a 10, 20, 30% cut. All of a sudden, for $200, she's getting to pocket, what, $60 of it?
Damn. I agree that they should have strong unionized sex workers so they can collectively bargain for higher wages. Frankly, they could charge a lot more. This is a thing you really could corner the market on.
And somehow
you really get to pay.
When I make fun of this stuff and I do this content, I'm the bad guy because I'm saying this is not a great way for women to make their way through through life.
He's doing a great job. It's not a great way for women to make their way through life? To have sex for money? You want them to have sex with you for free, though. Make that make sense to me. So you agree that women having sex with you, at least, is a good thing, right? You're like, oh yeah, having sex with me is ideal. But having sex with anybody else for money, what is that? I don't understand the rub there. It's because you want it for free and you're not getting it and you resent that it's like semi-consensual and you're not getting all you want out of sexual intimacy. Like the thought of it irritates you, right? Like, oh, well, I shouldn't have to pay for this. This is definitely what's going on. You are turning inward on this. You are turning inward and feeling embarrassed about the prospect of paying for such a thing because you probably were caught in the past. Because he was pretty upset about people being, oh, the men's lives are ruined when a John gets caught. You found out he's from Arkansas? How did you find out he was from Arkansas?
And this is a real, the photograph that I have here is from another page that was taking photos of, these are the protesters. These are the women that are clamoring for this stuff. So it's not the 400-pound, hairy, pink-haired, no, in Belgium, a lot of them are actually rather attractive, at least.
He's like, oh no, the baddies are feminists? Boomer finds out baddies are feminists. That's totally true, though. Oh, no. Yeah, all the baddies are, in fact, feminists. That is a fact. Literally every single one of them. You can't be a baddie unless you're a feminist.
From the photos of the protests and everything that's going on. How is it that even, because I'm not really that conservative a man.
You're not that conservative? What? How aren't you that conservative? You haven't said a single thing that's moderate, even.
I consider myself kind of pretty open-minded, and you do you. Mm-hmm. How bad are things going when the you do you guys, like myself, saying, hey,
you're not a you do you guy if you're telling other people, I'm a you do you guy. You don't fucking steal my valor, okay? You don't steal my fucking valor on this one. I'm actually walking the walk on this shit. I genuinely don't give a fuck. Look, I've said this before. I love the contingent of fans that I have and people in chat in general, in our community. I love that we have a contingent of them that are trans or queer or gay or whatever, and that's dope, and I'm very happy to support any of their intersectional causes. That is all to say that I don't give a fuck at all what you got going on. I actually just don't care, right? Like, I don't care who you fuck, how you fuck, if you're a boy or a girl or a fucking non-binary or fucking like a deer or a cute deer or a really cute little cute like panda or like a little, whatever you got going on. I don't care. I don't give a shit. I don't care. I don't know how to describe how much I don't care. I don't think about it. And then I turn this fucking computer on and I sit down and I go, hey, chat, what are you guys doing today? And then I light up a joint and I go over to click, hey, what's in the trash hole in my Discord? What's in the trash hole in Discord? Oh, we got a boomer today talking about this shit. The sex workers got rights. He's opposed to that? Why? Because I wasn't even thinking about that. You know what I was doing? Reading chapters of Oathbringer by Brandon Sanderson. The third book in the Stormlight Archive, I think. It's good. I was reading that. I made fucking fajitas earlier. It wasn't really fajitas. It was more like a fajita bowl. I made this earlier. This is what I was doing earlier. What were you doing? Worried about sex workers getting health care and stuff. And bargaining rights for their labor. That's nuts. I don't care. Good for them. I don't care about you. What the fuck? I shouldn't have to cheer for this. This should be normal. I shouldn't have to be happy about this whatsoever. This is just normal stuff. Oh, human beings doing an activity should have protections against people that seek to exploit them while doing that activity? Say less. Seems like an easy W for me. Move on to the next fucking topic. Put me in charge of the world for 5 days. Test me out. I think you'll like what you see. I think everyone will be happier.
Hey.
God King.
Maybe you should cut it out.
Wait, extend it to 5 years and we really are cooking. I could get some stuff done with some time.
Maybe you should knock it off. Maybe you should ease off the gas a little bit. Because you're ruining your own life. You're ruining your prospect for future relationships.
With you? Not with me. Well, I don't give a fuck if you had sex with people. Who cares? Did you know that I've had sex with people prior to having sex with whoever I have sex with next? It's probably Sarah. That'd be quite the dry spell. I will have had sex prior to having sex with her, though. Isn't that crazy? Well, wouldn't that be fortunate? Gonna knock on the door. Hey, we'd like to have sex with you. Actually, that'd be weird. Don't just randomly try to have sex with me. I don't want that. Certainly not randomly. But what if I hoard the sex workers like cabbages? Dave Green. What if I hoard them?
From a genuine man that would love and care and give you empathy. No man's going to do that for a professional.
I fucking disagree. What the fuck? No man is going to do that for a professional? Fucking disagree. I never had sex and you don't see me complain about women not going for me. Do you want to have sex but haven't? Or are you asexual? Or you just, I don't know, not seeking it or haven't had the opportunity or whatever's going on? Almost every sex worker I know has a partner or more. Or more than one. Yeah, I feel like I could help people have sex. I feel like I'm a relationship guy. I feel like I could do a relationship hotline and be successful at it. Relationship hotline. I want to hear it. I wish we could have more of the incels on, though. That'd be interesting. But not just the incels. Everybody. I don't have the opportunities, but I'm overall content so far. I'm just a decent human being with autism. Oh, so I see. So you feel as though, you brought it up, so you feel as though, like, something about how your autism manifests leads to some kind of, like, social disconnect and not, like, having romantic partners in that way. I haven't had sex. Autism, anxiety makes socializing hard. That makes sense, yeah. I appreciate you guys being able to talk about that kind of stuff. People get a little embarrassed about that, but I don't think it's, like, embarrassing whatsoever. I think it's normal. I have seen attractive guys with no autism, probably anxiety, but like, you know, with like prospects, fit, young, etc., not have sex well into their 30s. And I think it's a lot of things. The number one thing I think is happening is you're not putting yourself out there, though. I used to be embarrassed about it, but I've gotten over it. I'm proud of you. I'm happy for you as well. Wanting to move, you don't want to be a child trapped in Florida. I love autism, blind date together to different places. That's cute. Honoring consent stressful because you want to make sure that you're being consensual the whole time. That's interesting. Yeah. I think I gained autism from 2020. ADHD. I have the ADHD. I think Sarah has the ADHD. I've never done sex well, regardless of my 30s. Haha, woo. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I think a lot of it, genuinely, I think some of it comes down to not seeking. Okay, so being afraid of rejection, right? And then not knowing how to. Man. Okay, so it's interesting. I think some people, like, you have to socialize and like learn how to talk to people a little bit and just like experience certain aspects of, I don't know, like flirting and sharing sexy messages and talking to each other, and like whether it's in person or from afar. Oftentimes in the modern era, like my neighbors used to think I was a drug dealer with how many men came over for sex 2 to 3 times a day. Whoa. Told them they were crazy and not true because you never see the same dude twice. Hell yeah, Mike. Fat, ugly, and stuck in the middle of nowhere, and scared of dealing with transphobes. Yeah, I mean, that's exactly, you know, you're gonna turn that stuff in. But I'm pretty confident that, like, you know, taking care of yourself to the best state that you can. I don't mean like losing weight and shit. I mean like just being a hygienic person, and then being someone that other people feel safe and comfy around, and then sharing attraction with one another. So I think there's a difference between like seeking consensual reciprocity and then just like really trying to get anyone to reciprocate with you by like throwing, you know, I don't know, like there's such a difference between like putting yourself out there and just like fucking I don't know, peacocking around, I guess. And a lot of people do that stuff, and it's just like, I don't even know how to describe it. I think it would take a long time for me to like organize my thoughts on it, because I haven't really thought about trying to explain that to other people. But like, really genuinely, for me, I have never approached someone with the conviction and intent to have sex with them until well after we've had rapport and likely already had sex. So like, it's always been for me like, hey, we just have like conversations from time to time, or very much so like when Sarah and I met, we just like clicked and like, you know, you just keep talking. I don't know, it's a vibe, you just feel it. And then sometimes you're like, hey, are we acknowledging like a shared like intimacy, a shared connection? And that can be really fun. I just haven't gone into the world and socialized. Yeah, I get it. But I mean, like, this is what I mean. Like, I think while it can be scary, the step that I think a lot of people don't take that would essentially just seal the deal for them is putting themselves out there to go experience in-person socialization. And I know that's like a big scary step for some folks.
You can talk to people online.
Well, 100%. You can get to the point of rapport where you would fuck on site through text.
Yeah.
Like, been there. But like, you still gotta go, or they gotta come to you. Yeah. You gotta meet up. There has to be a point where you take a step forward. You don't have to text somebody or talk to somebody and then immediately be like, we should go on a date. You could just like flirt for a while. It doesn't have to, like, this is what I mean. Like, just be patient and don't have any sort of like expectation, and then you'll find yourself not worrying about, well, what if this and what if that. Like, it's not about if we date or whatever. If we date, we date. Cool, but I'm not trying to date anybody. You know?
No guy's gonna do that.
I think we're done with this video anyway. That's the end of the video. We got to talk about dating advice at the end.